such blatant lies have been fed to us for 70 years that I think the time has come to stop blaming the historians and start blaming the politicians. I'm absolutely fed up that we draw the line, quote, remembering Maulana Azad on his birth anniversary, he is widely admired for his scholarly nature and intellectual prowess. He remained at the forefront of our freedom movement, working closely with other leading lights, promoting unity and brotherhood, unquote. This is a quote by Narendra Modi. Now let me quote Maulana Azad, quote, be extremely hard against kafirs, but extremely kind amongst ourselves, unquote. All relationships in the world can break down. Father can turn against son, brother against brother, mother can shun her child, but the relationship of a Muslim with a Muslim can never be severed, unquote Maulana Azad. I think we are tired of virtue signaling and political correctness. We are tired of blaming people who resort to writing trash about history. Change has to come from top down. And if the topmost person believes this to be the true facet of our history and what is to be taught in our schools, eulogize these people, then I don't think there is any redemption for this country. And my elder brother Jay Sai, and the audience, wonderful audience, Sudhanshuji and everyone from the foundation who invited me. It's a real pleasure and an honor. But at the outset, I must warn you that I am always only invited once to a place. 2 weeks ago, I was invited to a place to talk on politics and beyond, and I absolutely blasted the judiciary. I said, forget about politicians. It's the judiciary that needs to be taken to task. 50 million cases are pending, collegium system, there is so much of backbiting, there's so much of nepotism. And it's not just that the wheels of the judiciary are grinding slowly, they've come to a halt. It's an absolute abomination. And only later I realized that the person sitting next to me who lit the lamp was the Chief Justice of the Allahabad High Court. I forgot where my car was parked and I took the Uber and ran from there. And of course, many of you would have been very disappointed to know that the Honorable Governor could not come. I was a bit relieved because last time I was there with him, I said the fellow should be suspended for 3 months. So the fact that I'm always invited only once is also kind of very comforting because I can say what I really want to say. And without fear of fervor.
But we want you to say what we want you to say.
And I, because of paucity of time and because my dear colleague Hiramanji has taken most of our time, so in the true traditions of JNU, I might add, I'm going to make 3 or 4 points. And I'm, at the outset, I'm very grateful that our beloved Swapan Da has already mentioned this person called William Dalrymple because I was about to castigate him, but I was very sure if Swapan Da would mind it or not. But I'm very happy that Swapan Da, who represents Bengal and England, and loves Mamata and Margaret in equal measure, had very kind words to say about this backpacker with tattered chappals who's now become a historian. It's not the fact that he's writing books. Everyone is free. It's a free country. You can write whatever trash you want. But the fact of the matter is that recently he was insinuating that only after the wrecks that he saw about the Kalinga War and the devastation that had happened, Ashoka converted or resorted to Buddhism. Without telling the fact, as has been told by Indian historians, especially Sanjeev Sanyal in his monumental book, that Ashoka was already a Buddhist 4 years before he undertook the Kalinga War. This is the sort of misinformation that we've been fed, not just by people who, and Dalrymple has come up with great phrases, I have to say, but the best phrase that has ever been come up is actually to describe Dalrymple. He's been called a giant seal in a kaftan. Nothing more encapsulates Dalrymple than that. The fact of the matter is that such blatant lies have been fed to us for 70 years that I think the time has come to stop blaming the historians and start blaming the politicians. I'm absolutely fed up that we draw the line at some charlatan or some guy who's resorted to writing books on history, or what has been happening with our leftist quack historians. Most of them unfortunately belong to the university where both of us come from. I think we have to draw the line, because the problem is not the books. Out of every 100 books that are written, 90 are trashy. So does that mean that we should ban them? No, left does that. In fact, Dalrymple was the one at the forefront of cancelling the books that he didn't like. A very famous example happened 2 years ago. No, I think let's stop blaming historians. I firmly believe change happens from the top down. Awakening might happen from the bottom up. But what use is awakening if you are impotent? What is the point of being woken up by having your shoulders shaken? Wake up, this is happening, and you find you can't do anything. So let me give you 4 examples very quickly, keeping the time. Let me do a lot of quoting out here, lest I may be liable to defamation, but thankfully Jay Sai is on the thing, so he'll save me yet again. Last time he only took kachori as a fee. I don't know, maybe idlis this time round. Quote, remembering Maulana Azad on his birth anniversary, he is widely admired for his scholarly nature and intellectual prowess. He remained at the forefront of our freedom movement, working closely with other leading lights, promoting unity and brotherhood. Unquote. This is a quote by Narendra Modi. Now let me quote Maulana Azad. Quote, be extremely hard against kafirs, but extremely kind amongst ourselves, unquote. All relationships in the world can break down. Father can turn against son, brother against brother, mother can shun her child, but the relationship of a Muslim with a Muslim can never be severed, unquote Maulana Azad. I think we are tired of virtue signaling and political correctness. We are tired of blaming people who resort to writing trash about history. Change has to come from top down. And if the topmost person believes this to be the true facet of our history and what is to be taught in our schools, eulogize these people, then I don't think there is any redemption for this country. Quote, met Muslim community delegation. I presented the sacred chadar, which will be placed during the urs of the beloved Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti at the esteemed Ajmer Sharif Dargah, unquote, Narendra Modi. Quote, I will raise these Ansagar Hindu temples to the ground. I have come to India to fight the holy war against infidels, unquote, Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti. The Hanafi Sufi saint who fought alongside the demonic Gauri helped capture Prithviraj and unsparingly converted Hindus. Quote, best wishes to my sisters and brothers of Goa on the day of the feast of Saint Francis Xavier. May this occasion further the spirit of harmony and brotherhood in our society, unquote, by Narendra Modi. Quote, Hindu gods and their idols are as dirty as they are ugly and horrible to look at. Witnessing the destruction of temples and idols gives me so much joy, unquote, Saint Francis Xavier, the chief architect of the Goa Inquisition that led to the conversion, torture, and murder of countless Hindus. Keeping time, I shall allow these quotes to simmer in and kind of go inside your brains and think whether what is it we want for our future generation. To be disallowed, to be able to discern what is a good book or a bad book, or to be able to discern who is a good leader and a leader that is leading us astray by eulogizing the people whose truth should come out. Thank you.
To what I wanted to ask and provoke Anand further was that, of course, I want you to, of course, you have quoted which are quotable quotes and powerful quotes, but I want to go back to your book which you have recently published. And in that sense, Sai Deepak and you somehow come together to see what actually we see ourselves as Hindu in India and Hindu civilization. What is it that we need further to do to see that this kind of narrative is much more widespread and intellectually more intense than what we find it today?
Thank you, Dada. I made sure that I would not be invited again. Let me make sure that there's an ED raid on me tomorrow. Because the fact of the matter is that I have 99.9% agreed with Sai always. I'm not just saying this because he's my brother. But here I disagree with him. And when he says, when I blame the politicians, the very top, and he blames the Hindu society.
Us.
No, you have no power. You're not a politician.
No, Hindu.
Plus, you're honest, so you can't be a politician. You're just a JNU professor. No, but to come back to this, when Sai says the problem is not about the politician not doing what he's supposed to do, the problem is the Hindu society. He puts the blame on the Hindu society. So I ask him point blank, no one is as aware of what needs to be done to emancipate the Hindus, to remove the discrimination, than Jai Sai, then Vishnu Jain, then Hari Jain, then Meenakshi Jain, then so many others. No one. But what has happened in the last 10 years? The society is awakened through these giants. Has the Places of Worship Act been abrogated? Has the Waqf Act been abrogated? Have the Kashmiri Hindus been rehabilitated? Have the Places of Worship Act been abrogated? None of those things have happened. Who is responsible for making those things happen? That is why I believe that you can awaken as much as you want. As much as you want. Ultimately, if the person who is right at the very top is not awakened, nothing is possible.
Thank you very much. And that, Shobhandar, yes, we have time,
I think this deserves a certain rebuttal. The idea that we are confronted with an insensitive political leadership which is completely unaware of the impulses of the Hindu community is, to my mind, an extremely lopsided argument. Today, the legitimacy of the claims of the Kashmiri Pandits have been recognized. Article 370 has been revoked. This didn't happen because society wanted it. This happened because political people took the initiative and did it. The Ram Mandir was built, yes. There was a lot of abeg on the part of people. There were a lot of impulses on the part of people. But the crucial step of ensuring that it was done, the manner it was done, that there was no last-minute resistance, was at the behest of the political people. So the contribution of political people may sometimes be inadequate at times, but they are certainly quite important in the transformation of the India and in the awakening of India, of Hindus as we see it.
Yeah, well, just a few seconds.
10 seconds.
Less than 30 seconds. Yes.
Less than, of course.
Yeah, not your 30 seconds, no.
I of course, Swapanda, I agree with him. But I would have this to say, and I forgot about the temples being under state control continuing for the last 10 years. But besides that, I think what he makes is a very important point. What I would say is that when things are morally and ethically right, patience is not a virtue. For how long will Hindus wait? I admire the resilience of the politicians. I admire the fact that they know what needs to be done. It's just that why should we be eternally patient like Nandi outside Kashi Vishwanath waiting for 400 years?
And